As I sit here freezing my tail off in the midst of an Arctic bomb blast, with mountains of snow outside, I'm looking at the coming days wondering if it's going to be more of the same or just a glancing blow. Please, please, please say we don't get any more snow. Please say it warms up. I'm so tired of being cold. My kids, now while making a ton of money shoveling, are tired of shoveling. We need some springtime weather. Soon. Please. I beg of you. Anyway, Unit 1 is in the past, and now we are starting Unit 2. We'll start with a review of this week's announcement and a little reminder. This is the announcements page. Because Brightspace is not the easiest thing in the world to navigate, I have worked very hard to have everything that you need right here in one place. All the links, all the documents, everything. You just need to read through it and click where necessary. This video right here has a handy-dandy chapter listing after it, so you don't actually have to watch the whole video. But you can center on the parts that most interest you. I work pretty hard on these each week, so when I get people telling me that I'm not clear or didn't explain it, my immediate question is, did you actually watch the video? Anyway, there it is, okay? Now, if you will do me the honor of going back to the main page, clicking on the View the Course Schedule, and go to the Masterclass Schedule, you will see this. Scroll down to Week 4 and we can begin. Here it is, Unit 2, Week 4. As you can see, there are 3 documents to survey, not including one sample. We're only going to go over 2 of these, well, kind of 2.5, because we discussed SIRS a few weeks ago. And I'm going to quickly show you the sample directions, that's this one, for the Unit 2 paper. You have a discussion board this week. That's pretty much it. Will this be the week I finally go less than 10 minutes? God, I hope so. I don't know about you, but I'm really tired of these long videos. So, let's chat about this first document right here and get to it. In What is a Comparative Research Essay? Hey, look, there it is. It's pretty much exactly what it sounds like. This is going to be the Unit 2 paper, and this is how we do it. Once again, they have a cute picture. The thing link, it doesn't do anything. It's worthless. But, hey, maybe somebody wants to take a look and feel good about, being pretty. I don't know. But here it is. It doesn't necessarily do a damn thing. You can take a look through the sample paper and explanation that was given to you by the course. You've got the downloadable copies right there, which is great. And the requirements are right here. So, how wonderful is that? There we go. So, what you're going to do is this. You're going to dig really deep into a minimum of 2 sides of your argument. Now, I say 2 sides because the first paper was 2 sources. This one's also going to be 2 sources, but now I want you to focus more deeply on the idea of the overall side versus the overall side. You are going to find the one side that you already agree with and another side that you don't actually agree with. For some of you, the one versus the other is very easy because you have a binary argument. For others, you have a much more nuanced argument. So you might think outside the box and find a strong side, which is one of many. In any case, you'll be looking at the overall perspective rather than the specific sources this time. That's the key difference from the first paper. And then you will reassemble the pieces into an understandable argument. It's called synthesis. There are a lot of building blocks that you can put together in any way that you want, and not everyone will put them together in exactly the same way. They're following very specific instructions, and maybe you aren't. In that case, think about my favorite toy, Legos. When you get a new Lego set, probably about 99% of the people empty the box out and they build the intended kit with the instructions. They end up with a boat, or a castle, or a spaceship, or a bust of Darth Vader, or, as I have on top of my desk right now, a working lighthouse. No, true story, I really do have it on top of my desk. They look at it for a while, play with it for a little while, and then what? They probably take it apart. Some people put the pieces away and build the exact same thing again later. But some, well, We say, hey, I can take this lighthouse apart, and I can build a boat out of it, or I can change Darth Vader's bust into a spaceship. The pieces remain the same, but how our own ideas and our own creativity come to the surface, well, that lets us put those exact same pieces together in a brand new way, creating a brand new result. That is synthesis, and that is what you're going to be doing in this paper. Now, once again, you can go through this page and look at the same paper here and there and all that, and that's great. Do it. You can't have too much material, right? But you can also go into the announcement and click on the provided link under the review, which is right here, preview actually, and you will actually see the document that I have made for you, which is this. Now again, I'm not going to go over this page today because we've got a little bit more to do, but this paper is not also due for another 4 weeks. I wanted you to have access to it so you can see what the end result will be. It will be 4 to 6 double-spaced pages, so that's up from 3 to 4 in the first. You're going to have 2 new sources to add to it. So you'd have 2 for Unit 1 and 2 new sources for Unit 2, okay? Look through it, figure out what worries you or what confuses you, and then email me. I'm all too happy to discuss it with you as long as you read through it and attempt to find out first. Then you can ask me what is really bothering you, and I'm happy to tell you, okay? I'm going to make a big deal about this in about 2 weeks, but as you can see here, we're going to have a single paragraph introduction like normal, a minimum of 1 background paragraph, which is probably going to be a single paragraph, at least 2 comparing perspectives paragraphs, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, an exploratory synthesis, a minimum of 1 paragraph, 5, and a conclusion, which is 6. And now we're looking at some pretty deep paragraphs. So 2/3 of a page each, 6 paragraphs, 2/3 and 2/3, or 4/3, or 1 and 1/3, 1 and 1/3, and 1 and 1/3. I don't know. My math is really bad. But you can see here, we have the sample, and it goes right through. Here is our introduction. Here's our background information. Our first argument point in comparing perspectives. Our second argument point in comparing perspectives. We have an exploratory synthesis that's a nice, long, chunky paragraph. And we have a very short conclusion. We have 2 references, and that is the paper, my friends. Again, we're going to go deeper into this in about 2 weeks, but if you have any questions, please feel free to email me and ask. So, we've already done this, and now let's go to finding your synthesis question. Here it is. It's actually a very important page. There's a need for you to learn the difference between the things called questions of fact, or like what I refer to them as closed questions, or questions of opinion, or what I like to refer to as open questions. A question of fact, or a closed question, is a question where the answer is brief and definitive. What time is it? What color is that? What type of car is that? All quick and easy answers. You're not going to be able to build a 4 to 6 page paper out of 1 or 2 closed questions. A question of opinion, however, or an open question, well, that's something where the answer can be debated for hours or days or months or decades or centuries. What happens after we die? Is there life out in the vast reaches of space? Will the Philadelphia Flyers ever win another Stanley Cup? Sadly, that last answer breaks my heart a little. God, it's tough being a Philadelphia sports fan. You young people have no idea the decades of heartbreak we old warhorses have endured. In any case, once you get the idea of which question is which, you can start to build your synthesis question. That is, a question which introduces your argument to the masses and is specific enough to not cause a lot of confusion. You have to avoid the vagueness and the direct answers and be a bit more open-minded about the information. Okay? So take a look through that. Go through this lovely box here. Figure out what the difference is. Like how much U.S. manufacturing is outsourced to other countries. We can find that out very easy. It's going to be a quick and easy statistic. But would sourcing relations bolster the economy? Okay, now there's an opinion part. Okay? Who will pay for universal health care? Well, they're going to have all sorts of different taxation ideas. Is universal health care a workable solution? Now, again, it's opinion. All right? Now, I said we wouldn't go over this, and we're not going to. We've already gone through it 2 weeks ago. If you would like to go back and review it, that's fine. If you would like to review it again on your own and ask me questions, that's fine. So you can click on that and go to that page. Otherwise, I want to show you the questions of opinion or fact. As you can see here, it is an optional activity. You can go through this and see, is the question a question of fact or opinion? Does youth football need stricter safety standards? Well, obviously, this is opinion. Because now there's really no right answer. Anything you have as opinion is going to be backed up by fact, but it's still going to be able to go on and on. Does texting while driving increase the chance of getting into an accident? Well, that's a question of fact, because we can show statistics to prove that, yes, it does indeed increase the chances of getting into an accident. There are many of these to go through, and if you have any questions as to why an answer is what it is, you feel free to email me. I will be more than happy to discuss it with you, okay? Last but not least, we have our assignment. Okie dokie. So, it's a discussion board. I actually really like discussion boards. You wake up a little bit. If you take it seriously, I can see where the wheels turning in your head. I can also see who doesn't give a damn. It's a win-win for me. So, what you'll do here is click there, and you get to here. I've given you instructions once again in your first paragraph, in your first submission. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I've got 6 bullet points that I do not want you to answer in bulleted format. I want you to write one cohesive paragraph. Okay? Address all 6 of these points. You can see my sample down here. Oh, there it is. You can see my sample right here. Now, what I did was, because I'm an English teacher, I just split the 6 up. 2 here, 2 here, 2 here. Paragraphs. Please note, you do not see any bullet points anywhere, okay? So I answered all 6 of these in these paragraphs. I would like to see a decently written paragraph, not just one sentence for each bullet point. It's not going to happen. 2 to 3 sentences each, okay? Once you're done that, of course, you're going to want to go and reply to your peers. But in order for me to avoid looking at really terrible responses, I'm asking you to do the same thing here with 1, 2, 3, 4 bullet points. I want you to give me maybe 1 or 2 sentences for each one of these, okay? So if you can do this, you can go to any document or any post that you want. And look, I actually gave you a sample reply as well. That's what it should look like. All right? So, do me a favor. Please, please, do it right. And that's the week. Hopefully it's not stressful for you, but please remember that I want you to email me with questions when you have them. But do not be surprised when I ask you if you've watched the video first. I do my best to make sure that everything's in here, so I want to know if I'm unclear or you're just, missing it. Yeah, we'll say missing it. Don't wait until the last possible moment. I live for questions, so get them into me. See ya. Oh, look, less than 14 minutes.